All righty, live. We are live. Hopefully, I got this a little bit figured out better than the last time. Here we go. Got a little bit of sunlight. Let's see here. Just is it this way? Light or no light? I don't know. All righty. Just lighting here a little bit. Harry Du Bois. Hello. How you doing, man? Let's see here. I got my coffee. Got my phone already set here. You know, some people were talking about maybe I just do a background of my life or something. I don't know. Like, I told my story kind of in and out throughout these videos, but what is good, Jack Stevens? Hey, how you doing, Jack? Nothing much, man. This is a better attempt now that I got a feel for how the live thing works. I can see how many people are actually in it. I can see how the chat works. I can see how quickly people can respond. I am well, thanks. Apart from a pulled muscle in my back, how are you? How'd you pull the muscle in your back? You don't have to actually answer that, but if you want to, actually, I'll say this. If I'll share I one time pulled a muscle in my back in the most embarrassing way. I actually was putting on a sock and I pulled a muscle in my back. That is true aging. Aging is not gray hairs. Aging is not balding. Aging is when you pull a muscle in your back from putting on a sock. Hey, I just came across your channel yesterday. I'm also in recovery. Lindsay Valandry. That's awesome. Wait, Harry, you pull a muscle from the sock? Dude, what is happening? Do we need to create a thing, like a stick, or what is it, like a grabber thing that help men in their 40s put on like socks, or men in their 30s? Actually, to be honest, I did that when I was 33. Also in recovery. That's awesome. Lindsay Valandry. So cool to have you guys here. Let's see here. I wrote a couple of things down here. Lindsay Valandry, addiction counselor. It's been so hard to find other sober creators. I just turned 35, so that's my excuse. You came across this. Oh, Jack, so you came across this. See, here's the thing. I don't know, so basically the way this started out is that I joined on my friend's podcast. That's how I got a big push. But other than that, I just was the dude who just started it. I had to completely do homework on how to run YouTube stuff and everything like that. I tried to be, well, actually, I didn't try to be anything, so to say. I didn't try to be one thing or another. I just tried to be myself. But I wanted to make a channel that was for people like me, not too much cheerleading stuff, not too much scientific stuff. All right, this light is too bright. Let me see, we got the chat here. All right, man, this is so awesome. You guys are here. Let's see here. Oh, I got text messages and stuff too. Oh, never mind. That's not important. All right. So it's kind of weird. Like with YouTube, you never really know how. Would you ever want to come on mine? I do lives at night with some other dudes in recovery. We're looking for more people. Lindsay, if that's for me, I would absolutely love to come on. That'd be great. I don't know if I need to put in the chat. Actually, this is so. Need to. Let's. See, I'm also trying to figure out. I'm also trying to figure out if this is the going live thing, if it just should be a live thing, because I know it's a thing after the show. This is, by the way, immensely appreciate all your guys' patience of just watching me fumble through this. Hopefully, it's a little bit funny. One thing here is, oh, what was that actually? Oh, never mind. Got that later. Let's see here. Wait. Here we go. Harry, you just hit 15 months, Harry? That's awesome, dude. 15 months. That's big because at least for me, I'm thinking that one of the craziest things is like when I hit a year, the first thought that came to mind was I should celebrate this with a drink, which is so insane. But like some people I know like fall off like in that like first couple of months, like is something that I did myself, like fall off after the couple of months after the year, after the celebration's over, after all like congratulations is done, after like your milestone is met, you just have to go on with life. So that's awesome that you're still like plugging along, Harry. Here, and sorry, I have applesauce brain from drinking, obviously. Harry, where are you from? I don't know. See, I need to find a way to better moderate this with either typing in the chats or something like that. You're from the UK? All right, another person from England. So let's see here. I believe it's what, like 10 o'clock in the UK now? I just was had like a private chat from massive binge drinking culture, right? Soccer games and stuff like that. Speaking of like the binge drinking, I don't know what you guys did for the Super Bowl, but my Super Bowl was so nice because I was with my girlfriend and we just watched the game, and there actually wasn't too much drinking commercials on, and we didn't care who won or lost or anything like that. So it was totally nice. I don't know, like some people are really triggered by Super Bowl because like it's obviously with football and there's a totally like the drinking culture that comes with it. Some people it's like nothing to them, It's always funny, like there's people that come into different types of like the alcoholics that are like just by themselves, totally alone, or the more like social functioning alcoholics. And there's plenty of people, yeah, from England. I wonder, I would always love to go to an AA meeting out in England just to see what difference it is. Just like, I mean, AA meetings, even in America, are completely like different. Just even within the same state, but just to see like kind of like the culture. All right, so like for this live thing, what I thought I would do is that if nobody posed any questions, I'm just going to start here. One of the biggest things that I wanted to like put forth is just talk about like things that had like helped me in like good recovery, not just like staying sober, but like in really like good recovery. And the most basic one that I harp on a lot, like that I've talked about on my podcast and everything like that, is like the ones that are just sincerely sleeping, eating, and not even exercise, just physical movement. I like it's funny because they're so basic, and the like alcoholism and addiction is so like complex, and it's so like dangerous, and it can be so multifaceted, but it seems like it shouldn't have a simple answer, which is not saying that those basics are just the answer, but I have found those to be completely great. I don't know if anybody of you like wants to put in the chat like one of the biggest things that helped you like with the good like long lengths of recovery. That would be awesome. Let's see here. Meetings in North Jersey are different than South Jersey. How to share contact information. I'll just put mine just in the chat here anyways. I should put it in the description. Again, I'm not super great at any of this. Jeez. building a community is what helps me in the most. It has. Yeah, definitely a community. Yeah, the isolation is, I mean, I would say even not even just with addiction or with drinking or anything like that, just with any problem. Like if you think about if you have any problem that you have, like if you're worried about finances or something in your relationship, if you're just by yourself, if you're not around people, the mind will just like eat itself. It just like truly, like I've said this before, but it's like that's why I think people wrote the nastiest stuff on like bathroom walls of like the middle school or something, just because they're before cell phones. But when you're bored and you're alone and you're isolated, you just think of the worst shit possible. So if you're not around people, I think that's what the mind does to itself. It just, I don't know why. It's kind of scary that human nature always goes to like such a negative thing, but it always goes strictly just to like the the dark side for whatever reason. I get goofy thinking when I'm alone and unattended for long. Yeah, I get what I call like a goofy thinking. I call it sneaky thoughts. Right? Like it almost has its own like voice to it. Like a sneaky thought, it would just be something that's not even drinking related to. It would just be like, you know what? I was planning to just like eat a grilled chicken breast today, but what if I just like bought like gas station lasagna? And it even has its own tone to it as well, too. Just like sneaky, like little things like that. What if I just like bought like $20 in scratch tickets? There's like little mini addictive things that will come in there. And like if I'm around people like right now, it's totally great because the little voice is not coming up with the little sneaky devices and things to I don't know, derail me or get me to buy scratch tickets. Yeah. Especially isolation and with depression as well too. I feel like right now we're rolling into spring. The just the winter. People talk about like the cold and obviously from like all around the country. Um, you know, I just don't even think it's just the cold itself. Like obviously it hampers down on like being able to do like more outside activities. I love being in nature, but just the darkness itself too. Just something about the darkness is always just like so I don't know triggering or just so isolating in of itself. It just makes you want to crawl in a hole and just bundle up and just I don't know. Reddit gets a bad rap, but there are some nice. Yeah, Reddit. I've introduced a few people to Reddit because I was introduced to it as well too. One of the greatest things about when you first discover like a new subreddit is that you get to do like the thing where it's like top of all time. So you can just like spend like 3 hours like looking up like the greatest of the great of whatever it is, if it's like The Office or if it's like funny videos or if it's something in recovery. That's like the moments I wish I could live over and over again. Jack Stevens says the last relapse happened at the end of a long winter. Spring hit, and I was off and running. Gabrielle Ransom is here. Hello, Gabrielle. You built community on X. I guess that's Twitter now, though. The recovery community on there is huge. How does I'd be interested in talking about like how you build a community just like on Twitter. Is it just like through the DMs or something like that? I really, when I get talking about social media, it's certainly like so ages me so quickly. Um, but like for the most part, I always thought of Twitter as just like you just scroll through stuff by yourself, just on your own. Like it wasn't really connecting people. If anything, it's just like almost like Vine, but with like text. Like it just quickly see thoughts and things or news articles or whatever. I would have to talk to you more about it. There's a lot to it. Why is my stupid thing always? Yeah, I assume I just also just as for everybody, if I just always default to like I don't know a lot about stuff. Like I'm not going to be one of those people that says like fake humility, like oh, I'm super stupid. I don't think I'm super stupid, but in all honesty, there are some things where I'm afraid of like how little I know about things. I know, Gabrielle, that is my girlfriend. I know you're with your son right now. Is there anything else? What are you doing in the chat? This is so. This like reminds me of when I did stand up like in open mic days where you just kind of just go like, so just what's going on? Just poking the bear. I want to get on like a topic of some sort, but then when people start talking about stuff, I also like just want to like I'm like a dog that's like chasing after a car. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Dharma recovery. I wonder if anybody else in here has heard of like Dharma or like refuge recovery. I'd be interested in that. Type it right here. Oh, someone just posted it. Yeah. I know the ones in here, like in Omaha, they're all done at yoga studios. So it's like truly in like the Zen Buddhist thing. I was wondering, like, if there's a way, I don't know if people use like Zoom or I guess it would just be Zoom or something like that. Like some sort of way that you could just start a meeting on Zoom, like with like us people here, like from the chat. I think we could get like involved in something like that. Like I think it would be really fascinating to do like just a meeting of all of us from this connection to No Chaser or the other channels. Harry Du Bois asks, "What is?" By the way, if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. What is Dharma? Dharma is, as long as I know, what I'll say is that it's the Dharma Refuge Recovery. It's recovery that's based in Buddhist principles. So it sees that like as craving as a form of suffering. Meditation is also like heavily involved. A lot of these things in recovery, like even if you look at like cognitive behavioral therapy or AA or things like there's a lot of foundational things that are the same, like giving to others, getting out of self, but the different avenues they go along. Also, like that's where they tend to vary. And with Dharma, I it's less structured in the sense of like there's not they have like the eightfold path, like they still have like the enumerated things like of what they do, but instead of like taking steps in sort of a linear order, you do things like kind of like all at once. And if correct me if I'm wrong, I'm still like kind of fledgling in my knowledge about it, but there's the sponsor, there's not like the same dynamic of the sponsorship that AA has. Oh, let's see here. So Lindsay says that I tried to do it with Zoom, but with all the countries they couldn't use Zoom. I use StreamYard for streaming, and you can have, I think, up to 10 people on the screen at a StreamYard. That is why I'm looking for people to come on and do lives and chat. Ooh, and your girlfriend can come too. That would be awesome. Gabrielle. So I'm going to write that down. StreamYard. Is that like actually, what am I asking? I can just look it up right meow. Okay, StreamYard. Sign up with Google. Yeah, it's a duck for an icon. I like that. It's the software that I use to connect with YouTube. Gotcha. Okay. I'll definitely have to look more into that. That would be let's see here. So, Lindsay, you said you're an addiction counselor. Do you do group therapy one on one, or do you do both? Actually, ah, that's awesome. Yeah, I can imagine just trying to run those groups. A lot of different dynamics and personalities. I don't do it on my own though. I work for a rehab. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the place to do it. I always thought of like rehab as just being. I keep it fit from my own stuff. I don't tell anyone where I work. Smart, yes, very smart. Yeah, I'm open online, but not through my career because my career is not involved with anything such as that, or is a career in a sense. But I one of the things that I think about, like, as far as rehab, this is a point I wanted to make, is that rehab is like, if you really think about it, going to rehab, like, as a social institution is one of like the. Oh, Gabrielle, you gotta go. All right, love you too. Love you. Oh, gross and cheesy in here. Um, Rehab is one of the weirdest places because you have these people that live these separate lives that are all alienated, they're all isolated, they're all like just like going on their own, and it's really intense and self-destructive. And then they, through some form of intervention, whether they get arrested or an actual intervention, or like something happens at work, you just scoop these people up, and then all of a sudden they may have been doing this stuff for years, and they have to get sober and detox right away, and they're full of emotion, and you just put these people like immediately in this place, and then boom, you have to do immense therapy right away. You work for an in-home addiction treatment now. I used to work at an inpatient. It's just too much inpatient. Yeah, yeah. As I was saying, like, just the idea of inpatient is just, it seems like such an intense environment because you have people that are like, so much is going on in their lives, because obviously you don't go to like treatment when you're like doing awesome. Usually your life is falling apart, things are coming crashing down. So all these people in these intense in situations, so much on the line, whether it's their kids or their relationship with their spouse. Um, it's like, it's crazy to think that we just gather these people there and just put them in there, and then just like, hopefully 30 days you can solve this issue. I mean, it's no wonder like the rate of success is not very high, because it's a crazy thing. Like, people use and drink for decades, and then she put them in there, and then she tried to rehabilitate them. And first of all, like, with so much of the drugs and alcohol, like, your body needs so many days just to get normal, just to function like a normal human being. I know that rehab, like, to your point, Lindsay, like, I know rehab was important for me. Like, I had to go just for that very reason, that I could not stop. Like, I could not make it for like, during certain times, I couldn't make it for like 2 weeks without, like, I couldn't grin and bear it and do it. I could not exist without getting a drink in my body for 2 weeks. I had to be like physically removed from being able to do that. But other than that, it's like, there needs to be so much more of a process of like rehabilitation that is like ongoing and transitioning, that you move from being able to just like live your life, how you deal with work, how you start a new relationship, how you start a new job, how you start all these new things sober too. Like, how do you deal, like, so many relationships start to change once one person gets sober. And that's not even to say if another person in the relationship is in active use and drinking. It's just like, oh my goodness, that seems like such a like hard fought battle to even try to, if one person is still in active addiction, one person goes to treatment, and then another person comes back and they're just trying to stay sober. That just seems like it would be, I don't know. It seems like both people would have to do something like that. And as I've gone through my life and travels, I found that many of those relationships seem to implode because you honestly can't have one person still in active use or drinking and one person in active recovery and just have things be quote unquote fine. Let me see here. Let me check the. Okay, cool. Yes, Lindsay. So you have my email thing. You can just send me something. I can start to look into this StreamYard, and hopefully we can set up a meeting where like me and Gabrielle and some of the other people from here can, and especially go on like your show. And I'm gonna, as soon as I close out on this, I'm gonna look into that and see what that entails, and just try to connect from there. That would be awesome. All right. Well, I mean, this is 30 minutes. Talked to some people, did some things. I think it's about right.